There may not have been much from Nintendo at the Game Awards, but there has been a little bit that has happened over the weekend, and some of it is pretty exciting. So we got to talk a little bit more about what happened over the weekend with Nintendo. So what's up, Waluigi? Trent from Trentendo here. We're going to talk a little bit more about what has happened. We've got some Fortnite stuff, which doesn't seem very likely to me in my opinion. But then we've got a interesting talking point about The Legend of Zelda and a potential Ocarina of Time remake that we've heard a lot about. We've got a little update there, so we got to talk a little bit more about that. So before we hop into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video so you guys are kept up to date with everything going on here at Trentendo. Let's see if we can get 20 likes on this. It really does help. I appreciate it. And without further ado, let's hop right in. Now, first up, like I said, we've got a little bit of an update with Fortnite and Nintendo specifically. You know, Nintendo typically is pretty ironclad with their IPs, and it doesn't seem like that is going to change anytime soon. Fortnite, you know, just added a bunch of new stuff. We've got Peter Griffin. They added a bunch of Lego stuff. And in that, there was some interviews that happened where they were talking a little bit more about what they could potentially see with Nintendo or how hard they've tried to get with Nintendo. So we've got Fortnite's ecosystem, the head of Fortnite's ecosystem, Sax Pearson. You know, he was asked during an interview for the Game Awards, essentially, you know, how hard have they worked to try to get, you know, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Mario, something like that from Nintendo. Now, when he was asked this, his verbatim response was, "I don't know what the word for like making diamonds is," referring to how difficult it has been for them to try to, you know, how hard they've worked to try to get something from Nintendo and to no avail. Personally, I do not think we are going to see anything from Nintendo in Fortnite ever. I don't think this is just we'll wait and see. I don't think this is a Nintendo just kind of holding on. You know, I just don't really see Nintendo throwing out their IPs to another developer, another game like Fortnite. I think that's where we have, you know, Smash Bros. For. Nintendo has shown that that's where they'd rather bring in other people's characters to their platform rather than, you know, send theirs to other places. So I do not think we will see Mario with a machine gun anytime soon. Now, second, like I said, we've got a little bit more of an exciting update with The Legend of Zelda and a potential Ocarina of Time remake. So we've heard a little bit about this. You know, Zippo had mentioned that potentially we could see this, and, you know, Zippo is, I wouldn't necessarily call him a leaker. I feel like he's an educated guesser, perhaps. He's gotten a lot of things right. He's gotten a ton of things wrong. And whether you like him or love him, or if you hate him, you know, it just kind of is what it is. But he did mention some stuff about, so I feel like we got to talk about that at least a little bit. But the bigger thing coming from an interview where, you know, there was some talk in a recent interview a couple of months ago at this point, with, I can't remember if it was Eiji Noma, someone related to the Zelda team. I believe it was Eiji Noma. He mentioned that he is not sure if there was many people in the current fan base who would know who Rauru was, which is, you know, the Sage of Light or the Sage of Time. I can't remember what stage now. The very first sage that you meet essentially in Ocarina of Time. And he was saying there, you know, he's not sure if there's many people who remember that. So at what point people were kind of thinking that, does this mean we're going to see some sort of remake for Ocarina of Time so that people could remember who Rauru is, you know, so there could be some remembrance of Ocarina of Time and the story that was told there, so they can continue to kind of bring forth, you know, maybe new games that relate to Ocarina of Time potentially. You know, we know we're not probably going to get a trilogy in the sense of we're going to get a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then a Tears of the Kingdom sequel. You know, so potentially do they go back to an old game to tie in a new game to that more, or to the timeline somehow? Not really sure what they would do there. But the fact that he said he wasn't sure who that is, or if people would know who Rauru is, made some people think that, okay, he's hinting that we need to remind people about this game. We need to remind people of the characters and the lore within Ocarina of Time. Now we have some new information as well, where in an interview with Game Informer, Eiji Numa was asked this question. Thank you both for being here, thank you both for so much of your time. I've heard about how sometimes questions about games can inspire them to be made, so I selfishly want to ask you about a modern Ocarina of Time remake, but I have a feeling I know the answer I'll get. And Eiji Numa, while laughing, says, "No comment." Now, why didn't he just deny and say, no, this isn't happening? Why didn't he say, oh, you know, I've really enjoyed Ocarina of Time, talk a little bit more about his pleasure that he had with that, some of the joy he gets from revisiting old games. But rather than any of that, rather than just saying, no, we're not doing, there's no plans for this at the time, he laughingly says no comment. Now, could this potentially be because I'm assuming that Nintendo is aware of the rumors that are speculation. I believe Nintendo is more plugged in than a lot of people may give them credit for. So that being said, does he know that people have been talking? I would imagine he knows people are talking about this. So does he just saying this is it's a fun little tease? Is he saying this, because he really doesn't have a comment? But why didn't he just say no? So a lot of people are out here now saying that this confirms we're getting an Ocarina of Time remake, which I wouldn't necessarily seem to go that far, but it is interesting to note. So I'll just leave it at that. No comment. I had to believe that this could potentially mean a little bit more though, but who knows? We don't really know, but it is an interesting thing to note. So hope you guys enjoyed this update. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you like to see Fortnite get Nintendo characters? Do you think it'll actually happen? Personally, I don't see it happening. I wouldn't particularly care. I don't play Fortnite. I did for a little bit when I first started, the buddies and the boys, dropping into Tilted Towers, but it's been a long time since then. And then with this Aegionoma interview, what do you think? Is there more to this comment that meets the eye? Is it just a no comment and a laugh and let's get this interview over with? Or is there something more to this? So hope you guys enjoyed. Looking forward to getting those comments down below with you as well. Hit that subscribe button and like this video on your way out. It really does help. Like I said, we're trying to hit 20 likes, so I'd really appreciate that. And until next time, catch you later.